Carver writes in a very simple language and uses a lot of repetitions, like he says and she says. Uh, these things are minimalistic in the story. In his other stories, we see the same repetitions. His stories are often about American men in the end of the 20th century. They live in a world they don't fully understand, with women they understand even less. The men, or the main character in Raymond's stories, seem to have some kind of identity crisis, where they don't know who they are and who they want to be. And many of the characters often have some inner demons to fight. The novels are mostly about alcoholism and loneliness. The drinking is a way to fight or forget the demons. They are afraid to be confronted by the reality and realize that they're actually just losers instead of the winners they should be. The women in the stories drink to have some kind of connection to their husbands. The theme in the story is being different or changing your life. The narrator looks up to the fat man because she sees him as strong instead of fat. She sees him as strong because he's different. To be different, he has to have some kind of strength. If you don't have that strength, it's too hard and lonely to be different. So she, the narrator, admires the strength he has, and that he's not just going with the flow like the rest of the world. When she sees this strength, it makes her want to be strong too. And the story is not just that he's different on the outside, but that he's okay with it and shows some kind of confidence. So the narrator decides to change her life and become different too, which means that she wants to be more confident. The story takes place at Rita's home, where she tells about an experience she had at work. That experience takes place in a restaurant on a Wednesday, probably in America. In the end of the story, we are again back in Rita's house. The story is told in present tense, which is a little odd because the story is from the past. It is a first-person narrator who tells the story from the past. The story starts in medias res and ends with an open ending. We don't know if she really changes her life or if it's just a dream. A few times in the story, we hear Rita's comments. I wouldn't say that is flashbacks, but more some comment from the present.
Okay. The characters. The main character is the narrator, and Rudy is the narrator's boyfriend. Rita is the narrator's friend, and Margot is a co-worker. The fat man is a customer, and Joanne is co-worker, and Linda is also a co-worker. The main character and Rudy have a relationship, but their relationship is kind of dead. She does not really want to be in it anymore. She is tired and feels uncomfortable when she is with him. In the end, she decides to change her life. The main character describes her unfulfilling relationship with Rudy, and after the meet with the fat man, she realized that Rudy is wrong for her. The main character suddenly feels fat when Rudy is having sex with her. It's like a connection to the fat man. The main character cannot feel Rudy on top of her, like he doesn't exist. That means there's no connection between the main character and Rudy. The main character will leave Rudy because he unlike the fat man, and because Rudy tells her because Rudy tells her story about the two boys. There is a kind of connection between the main character and the fat man. The main character is the only one who shows passions and kindness too, and even though she knows that he is eating too much food, she served the fat man 3 baskets of bread and butter because she felt sorry for him. Most of the people made jokes behind his back. The fat man does not say I, instead he says we, as if he is eating for two. He using the word we because the man is connecting himself with the main character. The relationships the main character has to Rita, Margot, and Linda is not a friendly relationship. It's more like a commanding one. No one cares for her feelings. The only really development in the story is the main character's perspective on herself. In the beginning, she does not really think much about who she wants to be, but when she sees the fat man, she changes her way of thinking. She sees him as strong because he's different, and that makes her think. She wants to be strong too, so in the end, she sets a goal to change her life, and she will decide to leave Rudy.
The beginning and the ending. It's a frame story, which means the story starts in one place, then the action of the story takes place in another place, and finally it ends at the same place as it started. In our situation, the short story starts at Rita's place, then the narrator tells the story about the fat man, which takes place at her work, and finally we're back at Rita's place where the story ends. The end is an open ending, even though Raymond has given us clues about what significant change the narrator is going to make. The symbols of the narrator is associating the shapes of a person's finger with the character of the person. For example, she describes Rita's fingers as dainty, and the fat man's fingers are described as long, thick, and creamy. Okay. Another symbol in the short story could be the man telling that he hasn't always eaten the way that he does, but does no longer have a choice and is forced to eat the way he does. It reminds the narrator that if she wants to make a change, she should do it before it's too late. The message of the story is not to be judgmental, not to judge people simply based on their values or appearance, and to take control of your life because you are the only one being responsible for your happiness.